Hey everyone, it's Jordan from Fish Keeping Made Easy, and today I'm going to give you a care guide on the fire eel. So the fire eel, which actually is not classed as a true eel and is classed as an eel-shaped fish, is part of the spiny eel family. People have said they can grow up to a metre long, but 80 centimetres is around the longest verified specimen, but realistically these fish will only grow to around 50 centimetres in your home aquarium. This makes the fire eel one of the largest members of the spiny eel family. Ideally, a minimum tank size of around 400 to 500 litres for a fully grown specimen, but juvenile fish can be kept in smaller grow-out tanks. Personally, I have had my juvenile in a 250 litre tank for around the last year and a half, and to be honest, half the time I can't even find him. They don't really need the tank size for moving around, as they tend to stay in the same area and only come out for food. The tank size is more to keep the water quality high and to avoid spikes due to large meaty foods and the waste that they create. They're very undemanding when it comes to water chemistry, a temperature range of around 24 to 28 degrees. Personally, I keep mine at 26. Again, a pH ranging between 6 to 7.5. Personally, I keep mine at 6.4. Some people say they are quite sensitive to poor water quality, so good quality filtration is required. So, what is the ideal tank setup for these guys? Well, these eels love to burrow, as all members of the spiny eel family do, so I would recommend a soft sandy substrate. These fish tend to be nocturnal and hide during the day. They're very shy and like to hide under hardscaping and caves. I created various dens and caves with wood and rock, but you can use PVC pipe and store-bought caves from your local fish shop. They will also uproot plants, so they're not the best fish for an aquascape tank. As said previously, these fish are very shy and are very peaceful, but could potentially eat smaller fish, but personally I have never witnessed this. I had a group of apistogramma fry and they would always swim around the eel's mouth and the eel showed no interest at all. But I would recommend keeping them with larger fish, larger barbs, etc. Neon tetra sized or smaller could be at risk of being eaten. It is recommended to keep one eel per tank, but I have seen people keeping multiple specimens per tank successfully. I have also seen people mixing different members of the spiny eel family, but again, this is all down to preference and will always be at your own risk. So what kind of diet do these fish require? These fish are omnivores but tend to eat mainly meaty foods. Younger fish will happily feed on frozen foods such as bloodworms, mysis shrimp, brine shrimp and mosquito larvae. However, as mines grew larger, it stopped eating these smaller foods and now will only eat larger earthworms and larger invertebrates such as river shrimp. However, these fish will also eat chopped shrimp, mussels and pieces of fish. So, can you breed fire eels in captivity? Now, I have no experience of breeding fire eels and I have no interest in actually doing so. What I do know is that it's quite difficult to differentiate between males and females. Mature females tend to be a bit bigger and a bit more well-rounded than the males are. These fish are classed as plant spawners, so basically they lay their eggs on plants, so you need a sort of large, well-matured planty tank for them, and obviously with them being really bad at burrowing, you would need to have things like anubias, java ferns, all these kind of things that attach themselves to wood and rocks. I think in general they are quite difficult to breed anyway. I've read a lot of articles online where people have said they think they've got a male and a female and they've just never spawned, so give it a shot if you want, but they do lay around something like 800 to 1200 eggs, so it's pretty crazy. So one last thing I'll mention is that the fish are quite bad for jumping out the top of the tank. Now personally, as you can see, I don't have a lid, I've never experienced this, but I have heard from other people's experiences that they are quite bad for jumping. So I would recommend getting a tight fitting lid if you can. So the last question is, should you get a fire eel? Well, personally I've loved keeping mines and I would recommend the fire eel to anyone with a larger tank with larger fish, also someone who's willing to spend just that little bit extra on food for them. So thank you for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, please like it, subscribe for more, and I will see you in the next one.